Alright, welcome to another edition of Sizzling Through the Season. My name is Dan. The New York Giants are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles at home. That's why I decided to whip out the Good Luck Michael Strahan jersey today. Since the Giants are on a bye next week and we're not going to be cooking really for Thanksgiving until after the bye week, I decided to make a Thanksgiving special. I'm going to make cornbread, I'm going to be making mac and cheese, and a turkey London broil on the grill. So the first step is I'm going to be making the cornbread first since it's the easiest. I preheated the oven to 400. Basically, we have Jiffy, no free ads. We have Jiffy mix. All it really requires is egg and milk. But for it to be more moist, I did sour cream and oil. So I put everything in the measuring cup. Easier mess for one thing. And I put the mix ready to go. So I'm going to dump all this and stir after it. Once I see it perfect, I'm going to dump it into the thing. There we go. It's like cement. Today's a big game for the Giants. They're playing the division foes against the Eagles. We haven't beat them in 4 years. Ironically, the last time the Giants beat them, it was actually the first game I was back after cancer. If you didn't know my story, unfortunately, I had a rare form of lymphoma, and on Tuesday is my 4-year anniversary of being in remission. So, hopefully the Giants' good luck charm is that they beat the Eagles for the first time in 4 years. So, it says to cook at 400 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. I just finished pouring it in the bowl. You're going to just make it even all out. Like I mentioned before, 400 and 25 to 30 minutes or until it's golden brown, ready to go. So put this in the oven and I will see you in a bit. Alright, 25 minutes have been up. As you can see, the cornbread is nice and golden brown. We're just going to wait for it to be room temp and then we can serve it at room temp. Who doesn't like cornbread, right? So that's step one of the Thanksgiving feast we're about to have. Alright, part two of the Thanksgiving feast is the mac and cheese. Unfortunately, it is a little higher in my knowledge of cooking. I never really did mac and cheese homemade. So my lovely wife, Nicole, is going to take over this part of it. And then I'll be jumping back in for the turkey part. So with further ado, meet my wife. You've been hearing about her all season.
Hi.
So it's Nicole. And take it away.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just melting some butter in a saucepan and going to add flour to make a roux. And what helps with the roux, it just helps thicken the mac and cheese because who doesn't love a delicious thick mac and cheese? I also have a pot of water boiling for the pasta, and I also have toasted breadcrumbs ready to go to put on top of the mac and cheese once it's done. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to burn off the flour taste. We need to incorporate it with the butter. This should take some time for it to all come together. As you can see, we're getting bubbles and the flour and the butter started to brown. So next step is to raise the flame and slowly add in the milk. We are using 2% because that's what we have, but feel free to use whole milk. If you want to make it a little lighter version, add 1% or skim. So while you pour, remember to stir to help incorporate the roux and the milk. What you want to do is you want the milk to come up to a boil and reduce it after it comes up, and you want a low simmer.
What kind of cheese are we using? We're
using today sharp cheddar and Monterey Jack, but you can use whatever cheese you like. So once this gets reduced, we can then add the cheese to the pot. As you can see, it's coming to a boil, so what I'm going to do now is reduce it to a simmer and let it reduce for a few minutes. At the same time, we're going to have the water boiling and the pasta will be ready to go. Alright, pasta water is boiling. I just added salt. And now I'm adding pasta in. Look at that steam. You can use whatever kind of pasta you'd like. We decided to use Salentini, but you can use whatever one you like. Preferred ones would be shells or elbow or anything that would be good to capture the cheese in between the pasta. Alright, I just threw the pasta in the water, and you want to cook it undercooked because you will be baking it in the oven. So I would say probably check it around 8 minutes and then see if it still has a nice chew to it. It just needs to be a little bit harder than al dente, but not at al dente. So as you can see, we drained the pasta water and we put it in an aluminum tray. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be easier to do it in an aluminum tray instead of having to worry about cleaning another pan. So here you can see how thick the the milk, flour, and butter mixture got already. So now you want to do is take it off the heat and add the cheese. So I will tell you, it's worth shredding your own. It actually helps with the cheese pull, and everyone's all about the cheese pull. We use 2 bricks, one of the sharp cheddar and one of the Monterey cheese. And now we're going to mix it together. So after tediously working it in, you can see how the cheese melted. You might have to add a little extra milk to loosen it, which is what I did, helping it to get a nice smooth consistency. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour the cheese all over the pasta. This also makes a great dipping if you want to make sourdough pretzels for a nice cheese sauce. Okay. So just stir it together. Finish it off with a little toasted breadcrumb. All you do is toast it over the stove with a little bit of olive oil and sprinkle it on top. You add all the breadcrumb. We're going to bake it at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes until golden brown. What we like to do sometimes too is put on the broil for an extra crisp on top.
Alright, the mac and cheese is in the oven, so might as well start with the turkey London broil. Throw it on the grill. As of right now, we're going to put it at 400 degrees. Right now, I think it's a good idea to have turkey London broil this year, especially with the whole COVID situation right now and the whole the numbers of everybody being able to stay at a family function or something. Should have thought of that after, but I'm going to put that in right now. So it's going to cook for 10 minutes on each side, and it has to get to internal temperature of 160, 165, and you're going to have to let it rest for 5 minutes afterwards. So I will see you in 10 minutes. The marinade is orange juice, lime juice, rosemary, olive oil, and what was the last? Salt and pepper. I forgot to mention it's a thinner slice than what I've been reading and catching up, so I didn't need the 10 minutes. It's more like 5 minutes, so I'm flipping it over now and I'll show you how it looks so far. So nice crisp, and it's going to be for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to be good to go. Alright, time is up for the turkey London broil. It's ready to be taken off the grill and be sliced up and fed for the family. As you can see, it's grilled perfectly on both sides and it is ready to go. Look at the juice ready falling off. As always, go Giants, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. See you next time.